In an era defined by instant global communication, the internet often feels like an ethereal, boundless entity. We tap, swipe, and click, sending data across continents in milliseconds, rarely pausing to consider the physical infrastructure that makes this digital magic possible. Yet, beneath the waves of every ocean, an intricate web of cables, painstakingly laid and meticulously maintained, forms the true backbone of our interconnected world. These aren't just wires, they are the fragile glass arteries carrying the pulse of global commerce, communication, and culture. Without them, the internet as we know it would simply cease to exist, a vast, silent network of disconnected islands. It's a staggering fact often overlooked: over 99% of all international data traffic, from your late-night video call to multi-billion-dollar stock trades, travels not through satellites, but through these undersea fiber-optic cables. Satellites play a crucial role in remote areas and specific applications, but they simply cannot match the capacity, speed, and cost-effectiveness of fiber optics for the sheer volume of global data transfer. This reliance makes these submerged conduits not just important, but utterly indispensable to modern civilization. They are the silent workhorses enabling our digital age, without which the global economy would grind to a halt. The concept of transatlantic communication has a long history, dating back to the first telegraph cables laid in the mid-19th century. These early copper cables were revolutionary, but incredibly slow and limited in capacity. The advent of fiber optics transformed this landscape entirely. Instead of electrical signals, fiber optics transmit data as pulses of light through incredibly thin strands of ultrapure glass. This fundamental shift allowed for an exponential increase in speed and bandwidth, unlocking the potential for the internet we experience today. The leap from copper to glass wasn't just an upgrade, it was a paradigm shift that redefined global connectivity. At the heart of every undersea cable are hair-thin strands of ultrapure glass, each no thicker than a human hair. The purity of this glass is paramount. Even microscopic impurities could scatter the light signals, causing data loss over vast distances. These fibers are manufactured with incredible precision, often requiring a manufacturing environment cleaner than an operating room. They are designed to be so transparent that if the ocean were filled with this same glass, you could see the bottom of the Mariana Trench with perfect clarity. This extraordinary material is what makes long-distance, high-speed data transmission possible. While the core glass fibers are delicate, the complete undersea cable is a marvel of robust engineering. These cables are built with multiple layers of protection to withstand the harsh marine environment. Starting from the inside, the optical fibers are encased in a protective gel, then a plastic tube. This is followed by a steel wire strength member, a copper or aluminum casing for power, and finally, layers of polyethylene insulation and sometimes additional steel armor wires. Near shore, where risks from anchors and fishing trawlers are highest, the cables are armored even further, often becoming as thick as a human arm. This layered design is critical for survival. Even with ultra-pure glass, light signals inevitably weaken over vast distances, a phenomenon known as attenuation. To combat this, specialized repeater amplifiers are strategically placed along the cable's length. These repeaters are sophisticated electronic devices that receive the faint light signal, convert it into an electrical signal, amplify it, and then convert it back into light to continue its journey. Without these repeaters, data could only travel relatively short distances before becoming indecipherable. They are the unsung heroes ensuring that your data packets arrive intact across thousands of kilometers of ocean, maintaining signal integrity and speed. These repeater amplifiers, hundreds of them on a single long cable, require a constant power supply. This electricity is sent directly from shore-based power feeding stations, traveling along the copper casing of the cable itself. A single cable might carry thousands of volts over immense distances, powering these critical devices deep beneath the ocean. The engineering challenge of delivering reliable power to equipment operating under crushing pressures and extreme cold for decades is immense. Without a continuous power supply, the repeaters would fail, and the entire cable segment would go dark, severing global communication pathways instantaneously. The deployment of these massive cables is an astonishing feat of maritime engineering. Specialized cable-laying ships, often among the largest vessels in their fleet, are designed for this singular purpose. These ships carry thousands of kilometers of cable in vast, circular tanks deep within their hulls. They are equipped with sophisticated navigation systems, precise maneuvering capabilities, and powerful plows that can bury the cable up to several meters deep in the seabed near shore to protect it. The precision required to lay a cable across trenches, seamounts, and abyssal plains, following exact coordinates, is breathtaking. Cable laying is a slow and deliberate process. The ship moves at a precise, often glacial pace, continuously paying out cable from its stern. Near the shore, a remotely operated vehicle, or ROV, is often used to ensure the cable is buried correctly, protecting it from anchors and fishing gear. In deeper waters, the cable is simply laid on the seabed, its specific gravity engineered to allow it to settle gently without floating. Survey ships meticulously map the ocean floor beforehand, identifying the safest and most stable routes, avoiding active seismic zones, steep slopes, and known fishing grounds. Every meter is precisely accounted for. Most undersea cables rest silently on the abyssal plains, thousands of meters below the surface. Here, the conditions are extreme: perpetual darkness, near freezing temperatures, and immense pressure. At these depths, the risk from human activity is minimal, but the cables must still contend with the alien environment. The constant pressure tests the integrity of the cable's construction, while the cold can affect the electronics of the repeaters. Yet, designed for resilience, these cables are expected to operate flawlessly for 25 years or more, silently ferrying our data across the ocean's most hostile environments, truly a testament to human ingenuity. The journey of an undersea cable begins and ends at critical infrastructure known as landing points or cable landing stations. These are secure, often unassuming buildings located on coastlines around the world. Here, the massive undersea cables transition to terrestrial fiber-optic networks, connecting to data centers, internet exchange points, and ultimately, to homes and businesses. These landing stations are the literal gateways where international data enters and exits a country. Their strategic location and security are paramount, making them far more than simple connection points. They are vital national assets, indispensable for global connectivity. Despite their robust design, undersea cables are not invulnerable. Natural disasters pose a significant threat. Earthquakes, particularly those occurring on the seabed or near subsea fault lines, can cause catastrophic damage. The seismic forces can snap cables or trigger massive underwater landslides. One of the most severe incidents occurred in 2006, when a magnitude 7.0 earthquake off the coast of Taiwan caused widespread cable damage, disrupting internet and telephone services across much of Asia for weeks. This event highlighted the fragility of our global digital infrastructure and the immense challenges of repair. Often triggered by earthquakes, underwater landslides are another major cause of cable damage. These immense avalanches of sediment and rock can sweep across the ocean floor, dragging, snapping, or burying cables. The force of these landslides can be tremendous, capable of dislodging even deeply buried segments. The Grand Banks earthquake in 1929, for instance, famously triggered a turbidity current that snapped multiple transatlantic telegraph cables, providing early evidence of these powerful underwater phenomena. Modern mapping helps avoid known landslide zones, but the ocean floor remains a dynamic and unpredictable environment. A popular image associated with undersea cables is that of sharks biting them. While some early cables were indeed found with shark teeth embedded in their protective casing, this is a relatively rare occurrence and not a significant threat to modern, armored cables. It's believed that sharks might be attracted to the electromagnetic fields generated by the high voltage power flowing through the cables, or simply out of curiosity. The notion of sharks deliberately severing the internet is largely a myth. Human activities, both accidental and intentional, pose a far greater risk to these vital connections. The vast majority of cable damage, however, stems from human activity, particularly in shallower coastal waters. Fishing trawlers dragging heavy nets and anchors from large ships are by far the most frequent culprits. These incidents often occur unintentionally, but the heavy gear can snag, pull, and snap cables. Burial of cables near shore helps, but it's not always feasible or completely effective. The sheer volume of maritime traffic and fishing activity means that despite best efforts, cables remain vulnerable to these routine occurrences, demanding constant vigilance and costly repair operations around the globe. When a cable breaks, the response is swift and complex. Specialized cable repair ships are dispatched, often from strategically located ports. Using sophisticated sonar and remotely operated vehicles, they pinpoint the exact location of the break. Grappling hooks are deployed to retrieve the severed ends from the ocean floor. The cable is then brought aboard the repair vessel, where skilled technicians perform delicate splicing work, joining the ultra-pure glass fibers and rebuilding the protective layers. This can take days or even weeks, depending on weather and sea conditions, demonstrating the incredible logistical challenges involved. Cable repairs are incredibly costly, both in terms of direct expenses and economic impact. A single repair operation can run into millions of dollars, factoring in the specialized ship, crew, equipment, and transit time. Beyond the direct costs, the economic disruption caused by internet outages can be immense, affecting financial markets, businesses, and critical communication channels. This financial burden underscores the economic importance of maintaining cable integrity and investing in robust infrastructure. The global economy's reliance on these cables means that every minute of downtime translates into significant losses across various sectors worldwide. To mitigate the risks of outages, network operators and governments invest heavily in redundancy. This means laying multiple cables along diverse routes, ensuring that if one cable is cut, traffic can be rerouted through others. Major international hubs typically have connections to many different cables, offering multiple pathways for data. This web of interconnected cables creates a resilient, though not impervious, global network. Redundancy is not just about convenience, it's a critical component of national security and economic stability, allowing for continuous operation even in the face of accidental damage or deliberate attack. While accidental damage is common, a far more sinister threat looms: state-sponsored sabotage. Undersea cables are not just commercial assets, they are strategic national infrastructure. Disrupting them can cripple economies, military communications, and critical government functions. The possibility of hostile actors deliberately targeting these cables for espionage or disruption has become a primary concern for intelligence agencies and defense ministries worldwide. This vulnerability transforms the serene ocean floor into a potential battleground, where unseen actions could have devastating global consequences, making robust protection and surveillance vital. Beyond outright destruction, undersea cables present prime opportunities for intelligence gathering. Tapping into these glass arteries allows adversaries to intercept vast amounts of data, from diplomatic communications to sensitive military intelligence. Historical precedents exist, such as the Cold War-era Operation Ivy Bells, where the U.S. Navy secretly tapped Soviet undersea cables. Today, with advancements in technology, the sophistication of such operations has undoubtedly increased. The very nature of light traveling through glass makes it challenging to detect such intrusions, raising profound questions about data security and national sovereignty in the digital age. The military implications of undersea cable vulnerability are immense. Modern armed forces rely heavily on global communication networks for command and control, logistics, and intelligence sharing. A coordinated attack on key cable systems could severely disrupt military operations, hindering troop movements, satellite communications, and even missile targeting systems. Nations are actively developing strategies to protect their own cable infrastructure while also assessing the potential to disrupt adversaries' networks in times of conflict. The undersea domain has become a crucial, often overlooked, dimension of modern warfare, demanding significant strategic attention and investment. While cables are vulnerable across their entire length, the most critical choke points are the landing stations where they come ashore. These are relatively few in number, geographically concentrated, and accessible. Controlling these physical landing points grants immense strategic power. A hostile actor could target these stations physically or compromise their security, gaining access to the entire cable's data flow. This makes landing points primary targets for intelligence gathering and potential disruption, transforming unassuming coastal buildings into vital arenas for geopolitical competition and national security, demanding robust physical and cyber defenses. The ownership and control of undersea cables and their landing points are increasingly becoming a central feature of geopolitical strategy. Nations are competing fiercely to build, own, and influence these networks. Companies backed by states are investing billions in new cable projects, not just for commercial gain, but for strategic advantage. This competition is particularly evident between major powers, as they seek to ensure the security of their own data flows while potentially gaining influence or leverage over others. The ability to control, monitor, or disrupt these arteries is a powerful tool in the arsenal of global influence. The physical path of data directly impacts questions of data sovereignty and surveillance. If a country's data travels through cables owned or controlled by another nation, it raises concerns about privacy, access, and potential interception by foreign intelligence agencies. Many nations are now prioritizing digital sovereignty, pushing for cables that land exclusively on their own territory or are owned by domestic entities, thereby reducing reliance on potentially hostile foreign infrastructure. This reflects a growing awareness that physical control over data routes is a fundamental aspect of national security in the information age, shaping policy and investment. China, through companies like Huawei and HMN Technologies, has emerged as a dominant player in the global undersea cable market. Their Digital Silk Road initiative, part of the broader Belt and Road initiative, involves investing heavily in new cable projects across Asia, Africa, and Europe. While these projects offer much-needed connectivity to developing nations, they also raise concerns in Western countries about potential espionage, data security, and geopolitical influence. The increasing control of critical infrastructure by Chinese state-linked entities is viewed as a strategic challenge, intensifying the global competition for digital dominance. In response to growing Chinese influence, the United States and its allies have implemented counter-strategies. This includes discouraging partners from using Chinese equipment in their networks and actively funding alternative cable projects. The Clean Network Initiative, for example, aimed to exclude untrusted vendors from digital infrastructure. Western nations are now prioritizing funding and supporting cable routes that bypass perceived high-risk areas or are owned by trusted partners. This geoeconomic contest reflects the understanding that control over undersea cables is not merely about commerce, but about the very architecture of future global power and information flow. Intelligence agencies around the world are deeply involved in monitoring undersea cable activities. This involves tracking new cable deployments, assessing potential vulnerabilities, and attempting to detect any illicit tapping or sabotage. The deployment of naval assets, including submarines and specialized surveillance ships, plays a role in this clandestine monitoring. The information flowing through these cables is a treasure trove for intelligence, making their security and integrity a top priority for national security apparatuses. It's an unseen, continuous struggle for access and denial, playing out beneath the waves. As climate change opens up new shipping lanes in the Arctic, this frigid region is emerging as a new strategic frontier for undersea cables. Arctic routes offer shorter distances between Asia and Europe, potentially reducing latency and increasing bandwidth. However, laying and maintaining cables in this harsh environment, with extreme cold, shifting ice, and limited infrastructure, presents unprecedented engineering challenges. Furthermore, the Arctic is a region of increasing geopolitical competition, adding another layer of strategic complexity to these nascent cable projects. The race for the Arctic Digital Highway is on, with profound implications. The demand for data continues to grow exponentially, driving a constant race for greater cable capacity and speed. New technologies, such as increasing the number of fiber pairs within a single cable and advancements in optical transmission techniques, are continuously being developed. The Internet is an ever-expanding entity, and its physical infrastructure must keep pace. This relentless pursuit of capacity is not just a commercial endeavor, it's a fundamental requirement for global economic growth, scientific research, and social connectivity. The architects of this infrastructure are always looking to the next generation of digital arteries. Undersea cables embody a profound paradox: they are incredibly fragile, susceptible to the whims of nature and the intentions of malicious actors, yet they form the resilient backbone of our modern world. Their fragility lies in their physical vulnerability, their resilience stems from the extensive network redundancy, the dedication of engineers, and the constant investment in repair and expansion. This dual nature means that while individual cuts can cause disruption, the global system is designed to absorb such shocks, rerouting traffic and ensuring that our digital lives largely continue uninterrupted, a testament to intricate global cooperation. The struggle for control over these physical landing points and the cables themselves is an unseen war, waged in the depths of the ocean and in the high-stakes world of international diplomacy and intelligence. It's a battle for information, influence, and the very architecture of the Internet. As our reliance on digital connectivity intensifies, so too will the strategic importance of these glass arteries. The future of global power and economic prosperity will be inextricably linked to who builds, owns, and controls the undersea cable networks that bind our world together, a silent contest shaping our digital destiny. Behind every kilometer of cable laid, every repeater amplified, and every repair made, there are countless individuals, engineers, deep-sea divers, ship captains, cybersecurity experts, and policymakers. Their collective efforts ensure the seamless flow of data that underpins our modern existence. It is their ingenuity, their dedication, and their constant vigilance that protect these fragile glass arteries from the unpredictable forces of nature and the calculated actions of adversaries. Their work ensures that the invisible web connecting us all remains robust, secure, and ready for the challenges of tomorrow's digital landscape. Our global dependence on these fragile glass arteries will only grow. As we venture further into an era of ubiquitous connectivity, artificial intelligence, and the Internet of Things, the demand for bandwidth and reliable data transfer will skyrocket. The future will require not just more cables, but smarter, more resilient networks, secured against increasingly sophisticated threats. The story of undersea cables is a continuous narrative of innovation, risk, and strategic importance, reminding us that even the most advanced digital future is built upon tangible, physical foundations, deep beneath the waves. Imagine a world where continents communicate not through airwaves or satellites, but through threads of glass barely thicker than a human hair. This is the reality of our global Internet. These threads bundle together, sheathed in layers of protection, forming massive cables that snake across the deepest ocean floors, connecting distant lands and cultures. From the Atlantic's busy routes to the Pacific's vast expanse, each cable is a testament to human ambition and engineering prowess. They bridge geographical divides, enabling instant connections that were once the realm of science fiction, making our planet truly interconnected. The fundamental principle behind fiber optics is the transmission of information via light pulses. Light travels incredibly fast through the ultrapure glass, significantly faster than electrical signals through copper wires, and with far less loss over distance. This speed is critical for real-time applications, from high-frequency trading to live video conferencing across the globe. The quest for even faster transmission continues, with engineers pushing the boundaries of physics to minimize latency and maximize throughput, ensuring that data can traverse oceans in mere milliseconds, enabling our instantaneous digital world. The creation of optical fibers is a highly specialized and intricate process. It begins with a preform, a large glass rod, heated and drawn into incredibly thin strands. Maintaining the glass's extreme purity throughout this drawing process is crucial, as any contaminants would severely degrade signal quality. The fibers are then coated with protective plastic layers while still hot. This continuous, delicate manufacturing process ensures that each kilometer of fiber meets the stringent requirements for long-distance data transmission, highlighting the precision engineering necessary to create the Internet's invisible highways. A single undersea cable doesn't contain just one optical fiber, it typically houses multiple fiber pairs. Each pair consists of two fibers, one for sending data and one for receiving. Modern cables can contain dozens of such pairs, allowing for immense data capacity. For instance, a cable might have 16 fiber pairs, with each pair capable of carrying terabits of data per second. This multiplexing of fibers drastically increases the total bandwidth of a single cable, maximizing the return on the massive investment required for its deployment and maintenance across thousands of miles of ocean. Before a single meter of cable is laid, years of meticulous planning and oceanographic surveys are conducted. Survey ships use sophisticated sonar and sub-bottom profilers to create detailed maps of the seabed. This helps identify the safest routes, avoiding geological hazards like active fault lines, steep underwater cliffs, and areas prone to landslides. Factors such as water depth, seabed composition, and proximity to shipping lanes and fishing grounds are all carefully considered. This exhaustive reconnaissance is crucial for ensuring the longevity and reliability of the cable, minimizing future repair needs. The most challenging part of cable laying is often the shore-end operation. Here, the cable must be pulled from the cable-laying ship, sometimes several kilometers offshore, through surf zones and onto the beach, where it connects to the landing station. This delicate operation often involves specialized barges, divers, and even helicopters, carefully maneuvering the cable to avoid damage in shallow, dynamic waters. Once ashore, the cable is typically buried deep underground to protect it from human interference and environmental factors, a vital step in securing the very beginning and end of its long journey. Remotely operated vehicles, or ROVs, are indispensable tools in the world of undersea cables. During deployment, they often accompany cable plows, ensuring the cable is buried correctly in shallow waters. For maintenance and repair, ROVs equipped with cameras, sonars, and robotic arms are used to inspect cables for damage, pinpoint breaks, and assist in grappling operations. These sophisticated underwater robots can operate at extreme depths and in hazardous conditions, extending human reach into the ocean's abyss, performing tasks critical for the continuous operation of our global network infrastructure. The global network of undersea cables is constantly monitored by sophisticated systems and dedicated network operations centers. Fiber monitoring equipment uses tiny light pulses sent through the fibers to detect any anomalies, signal degradation, or potential breaks. Geographic Information Systems (GIS) track the exact location of all cables and their repeaters. This continuous surveillance allows operators to quickly identify issues, predict potential problems, and dispatch repair crews with minimal delay. Proactive monitoring is key to maintaining the high availability and reliability that the global internet demands, protecting against unexpected outages. The map of undersea cables reveals an astonishing web, densely concentrated in some areas, sparsely populated in others. The Atlantic Ocean is crisscrossed by numerous cables connecting North America and Europe, reflecting the intense data traffic between these economic powerhouses. The Pacific Ocean, while vast, also hosts vital links to Asia. New routes are constantly being explored, driven by demand and strategic imperatives. This intricate, ever-expanding network is a living, breathing entity, constantly evolving to meet the world's insatiable hunger for data, binding diverse regions into a singular digital fabric. When a major undersea cable is cut, the impact can be immediate and far-reaching. Businesses reliant on international transactions can suffer significant financial losses. Individuals experience slower internet speeds or complete outages, affecting communication, education, and entertainment. In some cases, entire countries or regions can be isolated, highlighting their dependence on a few key connections. While redundancy helps, a widespread multi-cable cut, potentially caused by a major natural disaster or coordinated attack, could bring entire economies to their knees, illustrating the profound vulnerability of our digital age. History is replete with examples of undersea cable disruptions, accidental and intentional. Beyond the Taiwan earthquake, incidents like the 2011 East Africa cable cuts, caused by a ship's anchor, significantly hampered internet access across multiple African nations. During wartime, cables have been deliberately cut by naval forces seeking to disrupt enemy communications. These historical precedents serve as stark reminders that the Internet's physical layer is a constant target and always at risk. Learning from these events informs current strategies for protection and resilience, but the threats continue to evolve. The deployment and operation of undersea cables are governed by a complex web of international laws, treaties, and national regulations. The United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, for example, grants all states the right to lay submarine cables on the continental shelf and the high seas. However, national regulations often dictate landing permissions and security requirements. This intricate legal framework attempts to balance the freedom of communication with national security concerns and environmental protection, creating a challenging environment for cable operators and a crucial domain for international diplomacy. For individual nations, the security of their landing points and associated cable infrastructure is a paramount national security interest. Governments invest heavily in physical security measures, surveillance, and cyber defenses for these critical sites. They also engage in intelligence sharing with allies to monitor potential threats and develop coordinated response strategies. The understanding is clear: control over the flow of information is power, and protecting the physical conduits of that information is essential for maintaining sovereignty, economic stability, and national defense capabilities in an increasingly interconnected and volatile world. As technology advances, so do the threats to undersea cables. New methods of deep-sea intervention, possibly employing autonomous underwater vehicles, AUVs, or even small, specialized submarines, could enable more clandestine sabotage or tapping operations. Detecting such sophisticated intrusions becomes an even greater challenge. Conversely, new technologies are also being developed to enhance cable security, including advanced sensors that can detect minute disturbances along the cable path. The arms race between offensive and defensive capabilities in the subsea domain is ongoing, shaping future strategies for protection. While governments recognize the strategic importance of undersea cables, the vast majority are owned and operated by private companies, often large telecommunications firms, tech giants, and consortiums. These private entities invest billions in building and maintaining this infrastructure, driven by commercial demand for bandwidth. However, this private ownership creates a complex dynamic, as national security interests often intersect with corporate profit motives. Governments frequently collaborate with the private sector, offering subsidies or incentives to ensure strategic routes are built and secured, recognizing their shared reliance on these critical assets. The continuous evolution of undersea cable technology is fundamentally shaping the future architecture of the Internet. New designs focus on greater fiber count, higher capacity per fiber, and improved resilience against various threats. The trend is towards a more meshed network, with more direct connections between continents and fewer reliance on traditional hub-and-spoke models. This distributed architecture aims to enhance both speed and security, making the Internet less susceptible to single points of failure. The goal is an Internet that is not only faster and more expansive but also inherently more robust and globally accessible, truly a network of networks. The global Internet's resilience is tested almost daily. Minor cable cuts occur frequently, often without users even noticing, thanks to the inherent redundancy and automated rerouting mechanisms. It's only when multiple major cables are simultaneously affected that disruptions become noticeable. The engineering challenge is not just to prevent failure, but to design systems that can gracefully recover and maintain service even under extreme stress. This continuous adaptation and hardening of the network is a testament to the ongoing commitment to keep our world connected, overcoming obstacles one fiber at a time. Undersea cables traverse what are largely considered international waters, making them a part of the global commons. This shared domain necessitates international cooperation for their protection and maintenance. Organizations like the International Cable Protection Committee, ICPC, work to promote best practices, share information, and coordinate efforts to safeguard these vital conduits. While national interests often diverge, the shared imperative to keep the Internet flowing fosters a degree of global collaboration, recognizing that the benefits of an interconnected world outweigh the costs of isolation. It is a shared responsibility. Laying thousands of kilometers of cable across the ocean floor is not without environmental considerations. While modern practices strive to minimize impact, issues like habitat disturbance during burial, potential interactions with marine life, and the footprint of cable landing stations are all carefully assessed. The industry works to ensure that the deployment and maintenance of cables are conducted in an environmentally responsible manner, balancing the urgent need for global connectivity with the imperative to protect our fragile marine ecosystems. sustainable practices are increasingly integrated into cable projects. Maintaining a global network of cables, some stretching thousands of kilometers and operating for decades, presents ongoing challenges. Regular inspections are conducted, often using ROVs, to assess the condition of cables, especially in high-risk areas. Aging infrastructure requires periodic upgrades or even full replacement to keep pace with technological advancements and increasing data demands. This continuous cycle of inspection, repair, and upgrade is essential for ensuring the long-term viability and performance of the Internet's subsea backbone, a relentless effort that never truly ends. The true power of these fragile glass arteries lies in the global connectivity they enable. They facilitate cross-border collaboration, fuel innovation, and foster cultural exchange. They allow families separated by oceans to connect instantly, empower businesses to reach global markets, and enable scientists to share groundbreaking discoveries in real time. This ubiquitous access to information and communication, driven by the silent work of undersea cables, has transformed human civilization, creating a more interconnected, if sometimes more complex, world. It's a testament to the profound impact of engineering on society. Each time we connect to the Internet, we are tapping into a daily miracle, a global network of light pulses traveling through glass, amplified by repeaters, and protected by layers of armor, all resting silently beneath the ocean's surface. It's a feat of engineering that powers our modern lives, yet remains largely invisible. The fragility of this system is matched only by its incredible resilience, a continuous struggle against natural forces and geopolitical tensions. Let us not take for granted the intricate infrastructure that binds us, for its security and integrity are paramount to our collective future. The continuous improvement in optical fiber materials and cable design is a key driver of the Internet's evolution. Researchers are exploring new types of glass with even lower attenuation properties, allowing signals to travel further without needing as many repeaters. Innovations in cable sheathing materials offer better protection against external damage and allow for lighter, more flexible cables. This constant push for material science breakthroughs ensures that the physical backbone of the Internet can keep pace with the ever-increasing demands for speed, capacity, and resilience, adapting to new challenges. The economic stakes associated with undersea cables are immense. Trillions of dollars in financial transactions, e-commerce, and global trade flow through these cables daily. Any significant disruption can trigger ripple effects across international markets, impacting economies worldwide. Nations with robust and secure cable infrastructure gain a competitive advantage, attracting investment and fostering digital innovation. Conversely, those with vulnerable networks face higher risks and potential economic isolation, highlighting why control over these assets is increasingly a core component of national economic strategy and security. In the silent depths of the ocean, thousands of miles from human eyes, these cables continue their vital work. They are guarded not just by their robust design and strategic redundancy, but by the silent vigilance of naval forces, intelligence agencies, and dedicated monitoring centers worldwide. Their integrity is a shared global responsibility, a testament to the collective understanding that our modern existence depends on their uninterrupted function. These fragile glass arteries are truly the silent guardians of our interconnected world, shaping its present and future. Considered a global lifeline, undersea cables are more than mere conduits for data, they are conduits for progress, understanding, and the future. From powering remote work to facilitating scientific breakthroughs, their role is undeniable. The engineering behind them is astonishing, the vulnerabilities profound, and the geopolitical implications far-reaching. As we navigate the complexities of the 21st century, understanding and protecting these crucial arteries will be paramount to ensuring a stable, connected, and prosperous global society. Their story is a reminder of the unseen foundations that support our digital world. The competition to build, control, and secure undersea cable infrastructure has become an undeclared arms race. Nations and powerful tech companies vie for strategic advantage, investing billions in new projects and routes. This race isn't just about speed or capacity, it's fundamentally about who controls the information highways of tomorrow. Each new cable laid, each landing point secured, shifts the balance of digital power. Understanding this silent, global competition is crucial to comprehending the geopolitical landscape of the modern era and the enduring importance of physical control over data flows. We often interact with the internet as a seamless, intangible service, yet beneath the surface lies a world of immense physical infrastructure, constant vigilance, and high-stakes geopolitical maneuvering. The fragile glass arteries that crisscross our ocean floors represent one of humanity's greatest engineering achievements and one of its most critical vulnerabilities. To truly understand our interconnected world, we must look beyond the screen and acknowledge the physical conduits that power it all, recognizing their strategic value and the ongoing efforts to protect them. For developing nations, access to undersea cables is transformative. It opens doors to economic growth, educational opportunities, and improved healthcare. The construction of new cable landing points and connections can significantly boost a country's digital economy and integrate it more fully into the global marketplace. This vital role in development further underscores the importance of equitable access and secure infrastructure, turning what might seem like a purely technical endeavor into a powerful tool for social and economic progress worldwide, bridging digital divides. The security of undersea cables demands a multifaceted approach, combining robust physical defenses with advanced cybersecurity measures. While physical security protects against sabotage and accidental damage, cybersecurity guards against digital intrusions and data interception. Both are intrinsically linked, a breach in one can compromise the other. Protecting the integrity of the data stream from end to end, from the moment it enters a landing station until it reaches its destination, requires constant innovation and vigilance in both physical and virtual realms, forming a comprehensive defense strategy. At its heart, the saga of undersea cables is a central front in the race for global tech dominance. The nations and corporations that control these critical pathways exert significant influence over the Internet's future, shaping its speed, access, and security. From tech giants investing in their own cables to state-backed entities expanding their networks, the ambition is clear: to be at the forefront of digital connectivity. This ongoing competition defines the leading edge of technological power and geopolitical influence in the 21st century, making these hidden networks more important than ever. The individuals who design, build, and maintain these glass arteries are the unseen architects of our digital age. Their work, largely hidden beneath the waves, makes possible the instantaneous global connections we take for granted. Their expertise spans diverse fields, from marine engineering to optical physics, united by the common goal of keeping the world connected. Their story is one of profound ingenuity and relentless dedication, ensuring that the critical infrastructure of the Internet continues to serve humanity, overcoming both natural obstacles and evolving threats, day in and day out. Investment in new undersea cable projects continues to soar, reflecting the accelerating demand for bandwidth and the strategic importance of these networks. Billions of dollars are being poured into laying new routes, upgrading existing ones, and expanding landing station capacities. This continuous growth is a testament to the Internet's indispensable role in modern life. As new technologies emerge and global data traffic escalates, the scale of investment is expected to increase even further, fueling innovation and expanding the reach of global connectivity to previously underserved regions, driving an era of unprecedented digital expansion. In conclusion, the undersea fiber-optic cable networks are far more than just wires on the ocean floor. They are the enduring, physical foundations of our global Internet. Their massive engineering scale, intricate vulnerabilities, and profound geopolitical significance make them a central element in the story of our connected world. Understanding how these fragile glass arteries operate, the threats they face, and the fierce competition for their control is essential for anyone seeking to grasp the true dynamics of global intelligence and technological dominance in the 21st century. They are the unseen forces shaping our present and future.